Ladies and gentlemen, we just witnessed week 3 of the NFL season, and we had perhaps our craziest week of football so far.
Yeah,
And let me just say, with all the crazy shit that's happened this season, you feel like it can't get crazier, but it just does every single week. The Falcons did what the Falcons
the
do
Falcons
best.
do. Yeah,
Yeah. The Giants are going to do what the Giants do best. They're going to start Jackson Dart against one of the best defenses on their schedule.
Of
So
course.
much news to talk about in the NFL season. I'm happy to be with my boys here. So take it away, Anthony.
Yeah,
biggest boy.
of
Yeah,
course, 100% absolutely the biggest boy indeed, and the biggest boy with the only team of our three that won this week once again. It's lonely up
doesn't
here,
shock.
folks. It's lonely up here. I could really use a companion at some point, but
Man, fuck
Don't
you,
who
expect
knows?
my
man.
team to
Who
Fuck
join you,
knows?
but
man.
You know, Nick Bosa out with the torn ACL for the rest of the year. I might
Yeah,
be joining
Bradley,
you guys
Bradley
down.
Chubb.
I might be joining you guys down there soon enough.
Bradley Chubb is gonna be a 49er, Anthony.
Oh
Get
man,
ready for it.
I hope not.
yeah,
He's been
Tua's
playing
going to
good.
be a 49er.
He's actually not playing bad.
That's what I'm afraid of.
What? That he's not playing bad?
And they're gonna spend a ton of money on a rental
Hey.
piece. This is what they did. Now, Randy Gregory was not a big, a big trade package, but like that, he comes over to San Francisco, does nothing. Chase Young comes over to San Francisco, does nothing.
Does nothing.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it is. That would be a little scary. I will say though, just as a quick 30-second aside, the defense, even after Nick Bosa left the game, still held up really well. So not to say that Nick Bosa isn't a needle mover, because he absolutely is. But I think this defense can still be manageable and keep the team in games down the stretch of the season. Again, still one of the easiest schedules in the NFL
We're
by
in
win
the
percentage.
coping. We're in the coping stage.
We could be in the coping stage. We'll find out as early as this week, perhaps.
As early as this
we
week,
we
yeah.
shall see. But outside of that, yeah, we're super excited, super stoked to get into this one. Of course, as usual, we're gonna have a tier list ranking all the teams, essentially a power ranking of what we've seen from all the teams through 3 weeks this season. A slight tweak on the names, similar to what we did last week, where it's not exactly the same. Just to mix it up, have some fun there. They're still representing the same exact tiers, and we've got them right here. Our new tiers, some of them are still the same,
Nothing
but
will ever represent what Bougie represented.
No.
and that's why Bushi's sticking around, folks, because it obviously makes perfect sense.
It makes the difference. It makes the difference for the show.
It moves the needle.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
moves the needle.
Yeah.
So
That's
as
the glue
usual.
guy for your team.
right, exactly. Yes, yeah. Big locker room dude. Yeah. All right. So as
For
usual,
sure.
we've got superheroes, supervillains, Super Bowl at the top. Then we got the Aston Martin, one of the best luxury cars. It's a James Bond vehicle, That's our A tier this week. We got Bougie as our B tier this week. We have Pedestrian as our C
What happened
tier.
to the sweets here? So
Pedestrian. I couldn't find a C word that fit mediocre very well, and I just like the word pedestrian a lot. I think it's funny to use that as a mediocre phrase
You could
when
put
it's just about
cockroach.
someone walking. Do you want to put a cockroach? I can change
does
it.
do you think a cockroach is mediocre? Does it
I
make
think a
sense?
cockroach is horric.
I
That's
think
more
a
like
cockroach is definitely like F tier.
that's like a G
That's
tier.
like Saints.
So
The Saints are the
so
cockroach
maybe
of
maybe
the
so
NFL,
maybe
let's be real.
cucaracha, because cucaracha at least is exciting. It's
Okay.
like Spanish.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah, I could see that. How do we spell that?
Cuca.
I think that's it.
Cucaracha.
Perfect.
I think that's
Perfect,
right.
man.
Yeah. Okay, so we got cucaracha is now our C tier. Might
We could
be
have done
doomed.
cucumbers too. Cucumbers are like the most C tier vegetable of all time.
Well, they are
That's actually a
fruit,
good point.
so that's might be why you think they're
So
C
your
tier.
point's invalid. Yeah, your point's invalid. Your point's invalid.
Sorry, guys.
Just because of that.
My bad. Forgot they have seeds.
Yeah, yeah. And then our D tier is might be doomed, and then F tier fucked. Question mark.
Usual.
So, yeah, I mean, without further ado, we can jump right into it. I can jump back and forth between this page and, of course, the week 3 results page if we'd like. I will say, as a funny observation, because I was just curious about it, I knew I had a prediction, like a super bold prediction through the first 3 weeks that most people were like, this is crazy. So I just wanted to look at my results based on my weekly pick'ems versus what I had going into the season. And my record going into the season through 3 weeks is 32-16. My weekly pick'em record is 33-15, so we're one
Right
game
there,
better than my preseason prediction. And the game that I was thinking of that I thought was like one of those, like, nobody ever is predicting this to happen, and it happened last week. No one's ever predicting this to happen. It's like one of those, just like when you're filling out the schedule, you're just like, oh, this is a balancing, game to balance out the records,
right.
make them look better. It was the Browns beating the Packers. Of course, didn't pick it last week, but
That's unbelievable, right?
it's just funny how that works,
I thought preseason that game was one of those trap games, though, but as the season developed, I even picked it in my Survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those picks where it was like, how does this team lose to the Browns?
Mm-hmm.
Because we were talking about how the Ravens were potentially the team that could lose to the Browns because they've played the Browns close and they've had risky games with them.
Yeah.
But no, the Ravens just took belt to ass with the Browns.
And you know what?
They made it feel like the Packers had a safe game.
Well, actually, I disagree a little bit because the Ravens only pulled away in the fourth quarter. But for three plus quarters, the Cleveland Browns held the Ravens really tight.
Close, yeah.
And I think that, it's obviously because of the defense. This is a really strong defensive unit. And I think that this team is going to be close and in a lot of games this season because the defense isn't going to break maybe until that fourth quarter when just a far superior offense is just able to make extra plays, when it matters, right? So box score obviously doesn't look good. You gave up 40 points and you only scored 17, I think they did, with the garbage time touchdown. But as far as like the whole grand scheme, I think the Browns in general have performed a little bit better than maybe a lot of people expected, especially getting a win off of one of the three teams in this opening season with the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Packers. To win one of those games is something, at least,
The Browns have been more competitive in these games than they should have been. And they honestly should have won against the Bengals. That was a game that they should have
They definitely
won.
should have.
Yep.
They definitely should have. I was very upset they didn't because I picked them and I was happy about picking them.
Yeah. And where better to start than with the Browns in this tier list? What do we think, guys? Do we think they've earned their way out of fucking horrible, or what is now called fucked? And
They definitely
I
do
think they
because-
have to because they beat the team that was projected to be the number one team in the NFL at that point in time.
Yeah, I agree, and it's not just the fact that they beat
It's
them.
also how they've played in those other games. Like you
It's
just
also
said,
how
they've
they
been
played, but I
competitive.
think it's just the fact that they arguably have a top 5 defense right now, for sure, a top 10 defense. So they're still gonna be in games, and I think that you're not fucking horrible if you have a unit that good, So I think we should definitely take another look at them, and obviously that offense keeps them in doom. So I think that's probably where we're headed here. But it's a phenomenal defense, and I think it's a fun defense to watch for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you guys see
100%.
the clip of Myles Garrett on the sideline talking about
That
the,
was so
the
fun.
tackle?
Yeah.
Screaming,
of course.
Jordan, run! Jordan, run!
Jordan. Dude, I would actually crash out if my offensive lineman is doing that, bro. Just block the guy, bro. What do you mean telling me to run, bro?
Yeah, that
That's
was
hilarious.
That was really amusing. And, in that same vein, since we're talking about that game, I think we should be moving the Packers here, too. They were number one in our tier list last week at the top of superheroes, supervillains, Super Bowls. I don't think you can put them in that tier anymore. But how far down do we drop them is the question.
I'm okay with Austin Martin, but my biggest concern in how they lost that game is that game showed exactly why the Packers might not go all the way this year, and I think it's because of Love. Like, I don't trust Love at all. Mechanics are
I
super
think they gotta
funky.
be in bougie, honestly.
I was thinking the same thing. I think top of bougie probably is where they end up at the end of this. You bring up the exact point that I think all three of us want to make just about this team, and the reason why we weren't high on them going into the season either. None of the three of
Yep.
us were very high on the Packers, and it's because this team is capped by Love's performance. If he's not on, this team is not on, because this team cannot score. And once again, we had another week where Matthew Golden got some more volume in this game, but he's still wide open all the time and just doesn't get the ball. And these are hangups that might be small now, but come December, come January, these are going to be Grand Canyon sized gaps in this team, and other good football teams are going to exploit those. So yeah, I think top of Bougie, we'll see how the rest of it pans out. Maybe we can move them up to the bottom of Aston Martin, but yeah, I agree with Jacob.
It's around there. I mean, based just on the week and everything, I think Bougie is a fair placement.
Okay.
I think Bougie is where they have to be.
I don't oppose it. Yeah, I don't oppose it.
Do we want to move some of our typical fucked teams now?
Yeah, you can go ahead and just put the Saints in the bottom tier.
And honestly,
Saints
I didn't
and
want to
Titans.
stay talking about them for too long. But yeah, New Orleans, Tennessee, Miami,
New York Giants. That's
Giants,
probably the
yes.
bottom four. I think
the Raiders might have an argument, man.
I think there are a lot of teams
The
that have an
Raiders look
argument.
really bad, yeah.
The Raiders have
The
looked
Raiders-
bad. I don't think they're quite. See, this is the thing. So, in my own personal rankings, I have the Raiders ahead of the Dolphins, but I don't have either of these teams in fucked. I have the bottom three here that we have, and then I have the Jets down there as well. I know they clawed their way back.
You can put the Jets there.
At the end of that Bucks game, but there's still
that
this
was more
defense
so
isn't good.
bad coaching by the Bucks than it was good stuff by the Jets.
Poor game management, or just a couple of clutch plays getting unlucky. Whatever you want to chalk it up to for the Bucks, I'm 100% with you though. Like, Tyrod Taylor was okay in the game. He wasn't terrible, but there's just nothing. There's no momentum with this team at all, and I think that they're 100% deserving of that. Markedly better than the other three teams, but still down there. Now, I can hear the argument for Dolphins being down there, but I think Might Be Doomed is probably closer to where I am with them right now.
Miami is very
Might
weird.
Be Doomed is better fit for the Dolphins, honestly. They're
It's-
definitely above the Jets still.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hear that. I was probably speaking as a fan, honestly, and everything. But if you objectively analyze how those 5 teams played, I think there might be a little bit of a gap between Miami and those 4. But it's not saying much. It's really not saying much because those 4 teams look horrible. And Raiders might be doomed. I was gonna say in fucked, but I think only you, Anthony, or maybe you too, I'm not sure, picked Washington to beat the Raiders with Mariota starting, and
No,
I wasn't
definitely
against it.
did.
Yeah, I wasn't against it. I picked the Raiders, but I wasn't against the idea because Mariota is not the worst backup in the league, and because I thought the Raiders played okay, I guess, the first two weeks. But they were so weak, man. They didn't do anything. Like, I really expected more out of them, and Genty really does seem to be in problem under that offensive line, so it doesn't look pretty.
Yeah, I think
Yancey right now has more yards after contact than he has yards.
He does.
Mhm.
He does. It's
To put it
unbelievable.
into perspective.
I think
how
part of
bad
it,
that O-line has been.
the offensive line has not been good. I think that the play calling hasn't been nearly as good either. You're not bereft of weapons in Vegas. You have Janty, you have Brock Bowers at tight end, although he wasn't playing too much this week or last week, I don't think. But he's still on the field.
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby
you have
Myers is
Michael
a
Mayer.
solid receiver. Michael Mayer is a solid backup tight end, although I don't think he played at all in week 3. I'm not sure. He's questionable right now, at least. But this is a team that has talented skill position players, and what you would think is still a talented enough quarterback to dish the ball out. But my problem too is that Geno Smith just hasn't been very good either, and I think a lot of people still are hanging on to this what we saw of him 2 years ago when he wasn't even that player last season with the Seattle, and he's showing it again. He's not quite that player anymore. He was only that player for 2 seasons anyway. I think
Mm-hmm.
a large part, and this is my critique with everybody else. I think not just because I'm biased for the show, I think our power rankings here are better than everyone else's because everyone else always brings the baggage of what they thought of the team going into the year and what they think of the team later on down the stretch. We here are grading them purely based on what we've seen over the last 3 weeks when it comes to this week's power rankings. And what we have seen from the Raiders is just not good. The defense hasn't been good. The defense has been playing actually more to what I expected them to be based on how they look on paper. So they kind of met my expectations there. The offense has been below expectations. They're just not playing well. And I think we have to grade it as such.
I couldn't agree more.
I think that it's kind of concerning that every single time that Pete Carroll has coached a team, their offensive line has just gotten bad. Like, this O-line was really good a year ago, and they have the same guys they had a year ago. And now all of a sudden they are horrible, and they can't block worth a shit. And it's reflected in both the run game and the pass game. I mean, Geno has no time to throw. Gianti is getting contact in the backfield every single time he gets the ball. And it's just concerning that every single time Pete Carroll touches a team, he can't seem to coach an offensive line. Or at least have a coach that can coach his offensive line.
I think that's a valid critique 100%. And it is the core of the Raiders' problems on offense.
100%.
All right. What else? I want to put the Texans down here. And in the same range as the Dolphins and Raiders. You start 0-3 and you have looked totally inept. Like, we all picked the Jaguars last week, and it was a really close matchup for at least Vitor and I. I know, Jacob, you said you were pretty confident in the Jaguars, and that paid off. It paid off for all of us. But man, they're so inept moving the football. The offensive line is terrible. The run game is terrible. The play calling, is it even slow at calling plays anymore? Whoever is, they are trash,
no,
dude.
Slowick got fired in the offseason.
Okay.
Slowick is with Miami, actually.
Yeah, I didn't think he was still there.
I'm still very confident that Slowick was not the problem in Houston.
He might not have, because the same issues from last season and the season before, when Stroud was great, right, in his rookie year, they still persist. Mm-hmm. This team stalls out in the red zone. This team cannot move the ball in opponent territory, and they take way too long to develop plays. The rushing attack is still just super boring, super bland. This is a lot more foundational issues, and I think a lot of us have prescribed in weeks past and even last season. Not that DeMeco Ryans is a poor coach, but I think he's falling.
Definitely over-diagnosed the Texans as a good or like a well-coached team.
Yeah, perhaps, and I think what I'm trying to say here is that we've kind of misdiagnosed DeMeco Ryans as a great head coach, and he might be falling into that category of a great coordinator that has a great defense but can never put a full product onto the field. Staff. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It reminds me of Flores a little bit.
Brian Flores, Robert Saleh with the Jets is another example.
Robert Saleh,
a great defense, but just can't put anything together for a whole
Vic
team.
Fangio.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I think that might be what's going on in Houston. CJ Stroud is really awful, and I said it last week. If he has another bad game, you're ringing alarm bells, and I think they need to start ringing alarm bells.
He's in bust territory at this point.
He is. He really is. Everyone keeps posting that video of him talking to Caleb Williams.
But even at the time, I thought it was so corny.
It was corny.
Majority of people thought so, right? But now it looks just bad. Now it just looks horrible on him.
I think the
where
general
he was acting like he was above Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
being like a mentor.
I mean, he kind of was though.
But giving a
He went out
but that's
there
not the point.
That.
But that's not the point. Man.
Sure, but Caleb was also in his second career start. Keep that in mind, number one. Number two, Stroud had only done it for 1 year. That's the other thing. But then number three, I don't recall it being like they were corny, calling Stroud corny. They were calling Caleb corny for not respecting Stroud. I'm like, what is happening? Oh, after 1 year, Stroud's getting all these accolades. And, of course, me, Niner bias, sitting there like, dude, Brock Purdy's been doing this for 3 years and he can't get these accolades? Like, what is happening right now? It's absolutely ridiculous. But, I think now the temperature is shifting, of course. And the more and more games that people are seeing of this quarterback play is opening more eyes. Like this is bad, and it's been bad
And
for
then
since
and then
last
last
season.
year, yeah, and I was just about to touch on that. Last year when Stroud was already regressing and Young was looking like a decent quarterback, people were like, "Oh, maybe the Panthers were right," you know. And now Bryce Young is also playing like shit now. So it seems like none of the teams actually hit.
Did
I don't know. It's
anyone
so weird.
actually say, "Oh, the Panthers were right"?
I mean, Bryce Young fans probably did. I don't imagine that was any type of consensus, but
No, it wasn't a consensus. But like, if had Young continued to play like he was towards the end of last year, and Stroud continued to regress, I mean he's still regressing. Maybe it would have been a paradigm shift, But Young just hasn't done it.
well, here's the conundrum now, though. I think that Young has put together really solid 5 quarters in his last 5 quarters of football. The fourth quarter against the Cardinals, and then a solid 4 quarters against the Falcons. Not lighting up the stat sheet or anything. As a matter of fact, the Falcons, despite getting 0 points, outgained the Panthers in that game. But clean football, scored points, and the defense did their job in that game too. I think Stroud, or not Stroud, I think Young might be turning a corner once again, like we saw halfway through the
I hope
season
so. I
last
like
season.
him.
It also helps that the Falcons could not hit a field goal to save their lives.
Yeah, yeah,
Did
that
you guys
definitely helps.
see the stat sheet for that game? Like the Falcons led in pretty much every offensive
Yeah,
stat.
yeah, they outgained them. They better third down rate, I'm pretty sure as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Turnovers and yeah, not being able to kick field goals. That's what it comes down to. You,
That the way that whole game played out screams the Panthers are still not a good football team. Like I'm not convinced at all by this win that they are any different.
it, I'm really stuck with that one because I completely understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, that the defensive performance I think in that game is still undeniable. To give up more yards than your offense is producing, but keeping a clean sheet. And I know it's not just them because of the missed field goals and everything, but that's still very impressive. And I like where that unit is headed. I like what I've seen from the last 5 quarters of the offensive unit as well. Am I quite ready to give them bougie tier or anything like that? Absolutely not. I need to see more. But if you look at the next few weeks of the Panthers' schedule, things get really interesting if this team continues to play in this trajectory that they've had for the last 5 quarters. But yeah, I think
Fair.
both of these are apt for might be doomed. Certainly, the Panthers are higher than the Falcons there.
Yeah, another thing about that, right? A lot of outlets having Falcons still ahead of the Panthers in power rankings, and I
I
think
would.
it's just
I can't. I can't.
I can't after that game. I
Falcons
can't.
beat the Vikings, dude. The Vikings and they beat the Vikings handily. Like
They beat the JJ
And
McCarthy Vikings though.
I also don't care.
And
The Vikings don't really
and the
look
other
that good. I
thing,
don't know.
the other thing with that game though, it's not just that it's the JJ McCarthy Vikings. It was that the Falcons offense still had the same issues that I see every week, or that I've seen every week since Zach Robinson was started calling plays. Horrible play calling
yeah,
on
he's a
third down.
horrible offensive coordinator.
Horrible. It's the same exact issues even in that game. And yeah, they dominated the Vikings in that one. But
The whole former offensive coordinator of Sean McVay is starting to be a dried up well at this
yeah,
point.
the disciple culture in the NFL in general, I think, might be dissipating just a little bit. Even Shanahan disciples, Kyle Shanahan, not Mike. Mike Shanahan disciples are still going strong, right? But Kyle Shanahan disciples are also crashing and burning. Mike McDaniel probably going to get fired. Bobby Slowick got fired last season. So yeah, I mean,
But
yeah,
even another McVay disciple, Mike LaFleur, that guy got canned early on with the Jets.
Zach Taylor might get fired with the
I
Bengals,
think
right?
I think GMs just have to know where to look. Like you talking about the Niners, talking about Slowick. You have the coordinator's coordinating a good offense, but is it actually their offense? That was clearly a Shanahan offense, always was. Same thing with Callahan in the Bengals, right?
Matt
Like
Nagy getting hired on for so long.
Yeah, yeah, and really, it just speaks to how, number one, how important coaching is in the NFL. Of course, everyone knows that. But number two, that there really are only like 5 or 6 like elite top tier head coaches that you just don't fire, because that would require a completely upending of the entire culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone else is kind of replaceable at this point. I genuinely believe that, especially with the way that the CEO head coach is kind of dying out anyways. It's a dying breed. Nick Sirianni is nobody's favorite head coach. Even Philly fans are kind of fed up with
Well,
him.
as soon as we saw the downfall of Bill Belichick, we should have understood that this whole CEO head coach thing was not going to be a thing in the future.
And I mean, we're seeing it with other guys too. Obviously Belichick was a defensive guy first, but he was a CEO. Mike Vrabel, one of his disciples, defensive guy first, but he's obviously a CEO as
He's not
well.
gonna last.
And
He's not gonna last
New England is not doing too well either.
He's not gonna last.
And this New England is a pretty talented team. But they're like, it's weird. It's weird what's going on, and all these turnovers, and just Drake May is super inconsistent. He played such a good game against Miami last week, the week before, but then this weekend against Pittsburgh, it's more of the same again. I worry about his development because he hasn't had the right coaching there, evidently. Over the last 2 seasons, that's
And
problematic.
we knew it was going to be an issue when he was drafted as well. New England had
Right,
a chronic
that was a
problem.
risk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the faith in Josh McDaniels to be a good offensive coordinator again. Like,
And that's
did
reasonable.
we
It's not
not
faith. It's
understand that
desperation. It
Tom
was a
Brady?
desperation. It was a desperation hire.
Right, but we had so much evidence to show that it was Tom Brady effect. It wasn't, like, we all knew that it wasn't McDaniels. We knew that at home. So how do the professionals not know that?
Yeah.
Owners can be very stubborn. Craft
Stubbornness, and I
Yeah.
I really think you have to think about the marketability of big names as well. I mean, there's a reason why NFL media clings to big names so much and continues to. There's a reason why Mahomes was still crowned the best quarterback in the NFL the last few years, despite not playing like it, and last season not even playing like a top 15 quarterback in the NFL, at least in my opinion, throughout the whole season. And we're still in this like discussion of, is he the best in the NFL? No, he's not. I mean, can we move the crown? Like, the
Can we
real
talk
discussion
about
is
the
between.
conversation going from this guy is going to pass Brady up to, okay, is he actually the second greatest quarterback of all time? Because he's fallen off so hard from his peak, and it's been a pretty bad fall off. Like, I know he's played well this year, but the last 2 years he just has not been good.
I think last year, yes, I agree with last year, but I think it's a matter of expectation.
Since
Maybe.
2022, Patrick Mahomes has the worst deep ball accuracy in the NFL. He is 33rd out of 33 qualified quarterbacks.
I mean, sure, but he clearly misses Hill in that regard. And they still won a Super Bowl without him. Yeah, obviously he regressed a little bit. I think he's still playing well though.
No, this season he's been the best player on the Chiefs. Full stop.
Yeah.
But two seasons ago and last season, certainly not the case.
There's clearly
Right.
clearly an issue with penalties on that team. So I'm not sure how well coached they actually are this year. Andy Reid looks a little bit
He looks tired, is what I would call it.
tired. I was gonna say flaccid, but tired is a good word.
And I think
Andy
it's
Reid teams have always committed a lot of penalties. They just haven't been getting flagged for it the last couple years.
okay, but now they're getting flagged for it, so it's actually hindering the team.
yeah.
So
I think that really the
offensively super stale. That
Yeah.
another thing. Play calling
boring
also
as fuck.
degraded.
Boring as
It's
fuck.
not just Mahomes that degraded. Clearly, there's a play calling issue there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To me, that's very clear.
Absolutely. All that said,
since we're talking about them so much, where do we put them?
I think Cucaracha is a great tier for them. They're annoying. They're annoying little shits, but they're certainly not might be doomed anymore. I think they showed a lot. It's the Giants. I get it. but I think they showed a
They're going
lot
back
in the
to-
second half
They're
of that
going
game.
back to might be doomed after this week though, because they're losing to the.
You think
fucking
so?
Ravens.
Because I think the
Oh, yeah.
Ravens, after that loss,
I'm buying no.
the Ravens are right there next to them in Cucaracha
I'm
for me.
buying no Raven stock.
Me neither. This defense looks stinky, man. And
They gave up
Henry,
the same amount of points as Miami. Can I say that again? They have given up the same amount of points as Miami. Miami's defense played the Bills' offense harder than Baltimore did. That cannot
I think
go
Derrick
unnoticed.
Henry, as frustrated as he is going to go out there and he's going to lay bell to ass against the Chiefs.
and he could. I could totally see that happening. But man, if he fumbles in a crucial moment again, like we gotta start having talks because that'll be the 4th week in a row.
Yeah, because Stevenson is getting crucified by it, and it's not just a this year problem. It's past years. But Derrick Henry has an expectation that Stevenson doesn't have.
Yep.
So if it keeps happening, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, some talks are gonna have to be had.
Yeah, but you also see the frustration from Derrick Henry. I mean,
Oh,
it's
no,
very
yeah.
clear that he's putting in the effort to solve
Sure.
the problem. He's very
Sure.
like
And I
his
appreciate that.
response to it makes it impossible for me to be upset with him because he like there's nothing that I can be upset with Derrick Henry about that Derrick Henry isn't already upset with himself about. So there's no reason for me to be like, oh well, Derrick Henry is going through this and he's going through that. He fucking knows that. He's
Yeah.
gonna figure it out. He's a grown man.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I hear
don't
you.
think this is the end of Derrick Henry by any means.
I hear
So
you.
on that
I'm.
vein-
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Anthony. Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
All right.
I was gonna change topics.
So
I'm
no.
changing
Okay.
topics,
Okay.
so-
Gotcha. So. I hear you about that, and I totally agree with you that like it's running through his head, and maybe part of it is that he's in his own head, and that's why some of these mental errors are occurring. But I also, it's not just like a disappointment thing. I think it's just in objective observance. Like we could be witnessing a little bit of an aging Derrick Henry. He's not quite as fast, not quite as nimble, not all these things, and now he's just not able to handle the ball quite as well either. Or if he gets hit hard, he can lose the ball in that way too, or get tackled a lot easier. He could still be a fantastic runner and fantastic running back, and he probably will have an excellent season in general. But we can, I think acknowledging some of the signs just as an objective observer is also important.
So
I think that's fair.
on what Jacob was talking about to Henry's reaction, and I'm totally on par with you there. But on that vein of reaction, I'm going to nominate my fucking dud of the week. Raheem Morris, you bum. Raheem Morris, you bum. Listen to me. If I'm a Falcons fan and I see my head coach laughing with the other team after getting blown the fuck out, 30-zip, laughing with your rivals, nah, bro. Nah. Like, cancel a lifetime cancellation, bro. I'm never looking at this coach again, bro. Dude, like,
This
is
the
it
guy who's
is it
supposed
only
to
me?
bring Aura back to Atlanta?
is it only me that feels like this? Because like my head coach is laughing with my rivals, my division rivals, after getting blown out 30-zip,
Listen, I am
laughing.
I am with you 100%. I thought Raheem Morris was a pretty
Lousy
weird
hire
hire in the first place, and he should have been fired after last season because it just wasn't a good product. And I think we're going to be looking that way potentially again. The saving grace for him is that through the first 2 weeks at the very least, his defensive rookies that he drafted played really, really great football. And
Sure,
if
I
they
agree with
they
that.
see the vision there, I can see him getting another year. But yeah, it's not looking too good, especially with the attitude thing like that. Yeah.
Laughing. Listen to me. I cannot emphasize this enough. If the Bills had blown us out 30-zip and Mike McDaniel was laughing with the Bills, I'm probably jumping off the balcony. I'm not even exaggerating. Like, it's that bad, bro.
Dude,
You guys don't
you're
understand,
losing
bro.
Your shit.
Like,
You're
I
going
keep talking
bananas.
about it. I keep talking about it in this podcast, bro. How much I think
No.
rivalries mean, or how much they should mean, because I think they're dying at this point.
No
Um,
amount of hot chocolate with marshmallows will calm you down.
No, like it's this attitude thing is seriously starting to piss me off in the NFL. I want teams to hate each other, bro. I can't emphasize this enough. I don't want to see Raheem Morris laughing with the Panthers, bro. Like,
Well, the The NFL
Oh my
has
God.
a brand problem. The NFL has a branding problem, and it's the players are starting to become bigger than the sport. And that leads to massive leverage issues, and it leads to the competitiveness of the sport diminishing.
This is what happened to
And
the NBA. This is exactly what happened to the NBA.
So, like you said, Derrick
100%.
Henry getting frustrated and
You
throwing his
think
helmet in the
if
sideline.
there's anyone that thinks that the brand of the Celtics is as big as the brand of LeBron, you are wrong. LeBron as a player is more valuable than half of the NBA league combined. I feel like it is in that vein
Hmm.
of value. He is that level of importance to the NBA. And that is such a diminishing quality for the league because it takes the seriousness and legitimacy out of the competition. The league just isn't as enjoyable anymore because players are I'm more important than the game. The game, I don't care about it as much. I don't have the same level of drive to be as great at the game because I'm more important than the game. And that's
Yep.
when you get these egos that make the sport way less enjoyable for the fans. It makes your teams less enjoyable to root for. It's not
Yep.
like the 2015 Royals where all those guys are just scrappy nobodies who got on base because they swung at every single pitch. Like that's what made that team so fun to cheer for. They weren't anybody special. Eric Hosmer is a fucking loser. The fact that he got a contract, good for him, but he sucked. Like I'm just putting it out there. Love you, Hos, but you suck. Like I'm sorry.
I think
And
at
so
the
it's
end there
just
he would probably agree as well. Very
yeah.
self-aware.
And so it's
I'm a
just one of
type
those
of
things where the leagues aren't as enjoyable to cheer for. It doesn't have that same feel as it did when we were younger.
so like I'm a guy that usually when I complain about something, I like to bring up a solution. I'm not one to just complain.
Hmm.
And yeah, fuck that. I like to say like, oh, this is what I would do, right? So with the league, how do you bring rivalries back? Because I think it's legitimate. I think it's a legit issue because I see the AFC North. They're doing fine in that regard. Okay, they hate each other, continue hating each other. The NFC North, I think they hate each other enough. Okay, but then the AFC South, do they really dislike each other? I don't think so.
You know,
The AFC East, I think they
I
dislike
think
each
both
other.
Southern conferences are not as rivals.
I think you might have a point though about the two North divisions. Maybe we just need it to snow more throughout the whole country. We just need a national initiative to create colder weather sooner, so that way everyone is just cold and miserable all the time throughout the
Exactly.
entire
So
NFL season.
exactly. So your entertainment is the other one being more miserable,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, exactly.
Right?
You're
You follow
totally
me?
right. Yes,
You follow?
That's,
You okay?
that's
All
why
right.
those two divisions still have rivalries in the traditional sense. That's
No,
it,
but
though.
I'm so that ass when I say this. Some divisions just rivalries mean more, and I don't think
Or
it
your
should be like
team
this.
has to have historic like meaning to it. So like that's what the NFC East and AFC East get by. The Jets and the Giants have historic meaning. The
Mhm.
Eagles and Cowboys have well, the Cowboys they just exist, but you know the Eagles have
I get
some
it. I
historic
get it.
meaning.
I mean, same thing. I mean, Bills. I think everyone in the AFC hates each other. I can say this confidently.
You know what I think is going to help, actually,
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
the rivalry uniforms. I think that is a good step
I
forward
was I was gonna
for
I
the
was thinking
league.
about that
That
because
just personalized uniforms in general. We got to a point where in the mid to late 2010s where your team only had two uniforms. That's basically it. Then they started introducing some color rush and some
I was thinking the same.
retros, but they could only like use it once a year. And it's like, well, what the
Dude,
fuck?
the NFL peaked in the late 2000s, early 2010s when every team had like 6 jerseys and the Bills were rocking those white ones with the red stripes on the shoulder pads. That was the days, man.
and I
Those went hard.
and they're making a return to that, especially with the alternate helmets and stuff. And so genuinely I do believe that rivalry uniforms is going to help
yeah,
reinstate
and I
that.
remember we talked about it when they came out. Like this is an incentive to push rivalries forward, and I love that. I really do like that. Because it's heritage and it just adds entertainment to it.
Hmm.
I want players to hate the other team's rivals. It's not just about the fans.
Dude, when
What I was
Patrick
missing.
Queen went over to the Steelers, that should have been way bigger than it was.
It was.
The
I mean,
fucking
I thought it was
Ravens,
pretty big.
the Ravens should not have been dapping him up and been chill with him. They should have been fucking up his ass about
Right.
that shit.
And I was just about to say that it shouldn't just be about the fans hating rivals. It should be the players hating the guts out of the rivals as well.
That
Like,
man just went to
Amon
your
Ra.
most cold rival. Imagine you're a fucking player at Oklahoma and you transfer to Texas. You are hated. You can't go to
Yeah.
the state of Oklahoma
Yeah.
without people
Yeah.
knowing who you
Yeah.
are. People
Yeah.
will know who you are for doing that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you don't
Like,
get that in the NFL. And it's
Imagine this, right? I mean, Micah
so
Parsons
lame.
is a Packer now, so I'm gonna say this. He brings in Amon-Ra St. Brown to his podcast. Fuck that shit, bro. You know, like, I'm not saying it actually happened or it's gonna happen. Okay, disclaimer. But if that were to happen, I think that would be super lame. Micah Parsons is supposed to hate in the field Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's kind of what I want to say here.
Yeah. No, I hear you 100%. I think that maybe another reason that they've gone away, and it's probably been a much longer process than, just like the last couple of years, but the NFL or any league for that matter, when they are a more localized sport, and Jacob, you highlighted this thing perfectly when you brought up college football. When it is a more local team, the homer everything just becomes so much more intense. And but when your brand becomes regional, your fan base obviously grows, but then you have a much larger groups of people that aren't as passionate or intense about it as you had before. So I think actually expansion is like part of to blame with just creating regional markets instead of local city markets. Now cities don't really hate each other as much because it's more about, oh, it's Southeast Texas, not just Houston,
Right.
Maybe that's part of it.
Although I will say Houston and Dallas fucking hate each other. If Houston and Dallas were in a division together, that would be a really good rivalry.
Probably. There could be there is something to say about division realignments in general anyway, especially because expansion is on the horizon in general. They've been talking about expansion for a while.
If you're in the same state, we're going to put you in opposite conferences thing. I don't get that at all. It makes zero sense to me.
Like, all three Florida teams should be in a South division. Why is it just the Jags?
Yeah. The Jags, Dolphins, and whoever the hell is down, the Bucks, that would be a good conference.
New Orleans, Tampa, Jags, and the Dolphins should be a division.
I fucks with that division.
They should be a division. That's the South division. If there's ever been a South division, that's the South division.
It's either that or you put the Panthers in there, and then you put the Saints in with the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and the Broncos.
Something like that, yeah.
But then where do you put the Texans? You can put the Cowboys, the Texans, the Saints, and then
Arizona or something.
The Chiefs. That would be a Midwestern.
Well, you could do instead of including Jacksonville, you could do a Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America if you want.
America, yeah.
You could do a
Pull up a map.
You could do a Gulf conference or Gulf division where you have the Texans, Saints, Buccaneers, and Dolphins or something like that. Even though the Miami isn't in the Gulf, but close enough. You really want me to pull up a map?
Right.
Yeah, maps by teams.
NFL teams on a map.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who kind of hates the expansion to other countries idea?
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. It just the problem is
I do hate it. I think it's a horrible idea.
The only issue is in application or potential application. There's only a couple ways where it succeeds.
I think it's going to make the level of play worse. It is going to make the quality of football worse.
Only temporarily. But if you expand overseas, you're then going to those countries are now going to be included in the draft conversation and stuff like that. And, as the sport becomes more popular and more powerful in those regions, they already are pretty strong in certain regions, and that's why they play games over there anyway. But, it's a process. Immediately, the product would dwindle. But
I know, but the selfish in me is I'm only going to be alive for 65 years on average. And 10 years of my football is going to be diminished in quality because they want to fucking go overseas.
It's not gonna take
I don't
that long,
fuck with that.
It's not going to be that long. it could be so much better, man. The separation here. But anyway, I just wanted to visualize it. If we start debating this, we're gonna take the whole episode.
Yeah, maybe a bonus Coast Nose Ball at some point.
Maybe, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that would be a good division. The Titans, Saints, Cowboys, and Texans. I think that would be a good division.
I was just looking at that as well. Like this rectangle here. We've got like a West Coast right here. We have a Mountain West or Southwest division there. You could keep all the NFC North teams together as a Great Lakes division.
You could do you could do the Vikings, Broncos, Raiders, and Seahawks in a division.
I think the Seahawks and Niners and Rams should all stick together at the very least.
And the Chargers there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then you just keep the Chiefs in the West, and so it'd be
Yeah.
Chiefs, Broncos,
Yes.
Raiders, and Cardinals.
Yeah, so this
Broncos,
this
Raiders,
would,
Cardinals, yeah.
in a weird way, be the Southwest or Mountain West division. These four teams, and then this would be the
So
West
then
Coast.
Tennessee, the
Pacific.
Texas teams, and New Orleans.
Yeah, this would be like the South Division. This would be
Atlanta,
the
Tampa,
Breaking
Jacksonville,
News
Miami.
Division, Florida Man Division.
Yeah.
Mid Atlantic would be Philadelphia,
Florida
Baltimore,
Man
Washington,
Division.
Carolina. New England, or whatever you would want to call it, division. Old America. I don't know.
Yeah.
But those four teams, or no, not the Eagles, the Bills rather, and then the Central, the Midwest would be the Colts, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers.
Yeah, that looks good. I mean,
Not
I'm
perfect,
not whining here. I'm
obviously.
just pointing it
but-
out because, I mean, if you look at it how it is now, look how far Miami has to travel to play Buffalo, New England, and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And look how far they have to travel to play each other.
Yeah, I mean, but that's in fairness though.
Yeah, the Dolphins are not close to a single team.
No, not in their division, but also like look at Seattle way up in the corner here. They're not
Yeah,
close
but
to
Seattle's just
anybody.
isolated. Yeah, Seattle's just isolated.
Every game they have to travel a long way. There's nothing in Montana.
They're just very, very isolated.
Yeah, but
Anyways.
Seattle at least has like the most like common sense teams for their division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that.
I mean, unless you just want to put all the California teams against them.
Let's run through some of these teams. I think I like what we've got so far. Obviously, I'm gonna add more to Cucaracha and Bougie, but we can kind of run through some of these moving forward here. So, what do we think? Who else belongs in our C tier? I think the Cardinals probably do.
Cardinals, yeah.
The Cowboys,
Cowboys
you could
probably.
argue might be doomed as well. I could hear that argument because that defense might be the worst in the NFL. And CeeDee Lamb is now out for a handful of weeks with a high ankle sprain. Like, it's going to be really tough for them to win any kind of football games over the next month or so. So I could hear might be doomed for sure.
I think I'm okay bottom of Cucaracha because I think still a cut above some of those.
Okay. I'd also motion to move the Steelers here, as well as the Bears and the Broncos.
Maybe the
Broncos
Bears and
probably
Bougie?
toward the bottom. I could hear that as well. I think maybe the top of Cucaracha or toward the bottom of Bougie. I'd be fine with either placement, honestly, because like they not only won and outperformed the Dallas Cowboys, but they really showed up, and that was like what I wanted to see from them weeks 1 and 2, and it just didn't really happen. So that again, Dallas defense, but it was a good sign to say the least.
Yeah.
Right.
Jacksonville, I think, can go in the similar range as the Bears. Either top of Cucaracha or bottom of Bougie. I can hear an argument for either. I think now I think that kind of rounds out our D and C tiers. In all honesty, unless you guys have any other suggestions.
No, I think everything else is B and above. Maybe Vikings and C.
They really fucking
convinced.
destroyed the Bengals, though. And I think that, Wentz isn't going to be a Darnold like last season, but I can see him
He
having
definitely could
success
be.
in this system. I don't know if it'll be that extensive where they win 14 games and obviously it was his first start of the season, but I can see him being a serviceable, solid quarterback and maybe getting a chance somewhere else, or backing up again next season or something. Being a very high quality backup.
Right.
So I think they belong in Bougie after that performance. I think the Seattle Seahawks probably belong toward the top of Bougie, maybe even bottom of Aston Martin. I'd like to put.
Let's not go too far.
I understand it was the Saints, but they fucking destroyed them, and they looked excellent on both sides of the ball at the same time. Whereas some teams will beat up on a worser opponent, but you still have these questions like, you still have these hangups with the team, with a certain unit or with certain players or whatever. But they really just all around played 4 quarters of really excellent football. So I could hear it, but Bougie's fine. The Bills, I would like to move probably to number 1 in our power rankings. At least that's where I have them. In superhero, supervillain,
cool
Super
that.
Bowls. They seem like the best team through 3 weeks, the most consistent at the very least. It seems like they can outscore anybody. It seems like they have the more clutch than anybody, or at least top 5 in clutch factor. So yeah, it was hairy against the Dolphins, but they did enough in that fourth quarter. They really showed up.
Yeah, I agree. Probably the best team of football
I
now.
could hear Detroit up there as well, but definitely Aston Martin for Detroit. After a really shaky and rough week 1, they have looked like the exact same team that we saw last season and the season before in the last 2 weeks. So kudos to them,
And I can say 2 things confidently about the Lions. They look like the team that I picked to win the Super Bowl in the preseason. And
What a dumb
Coordinate-
pick.
yeah, shut up. Coordinators looking better than the Eagles were once their coordinators
Yes,
left.
absolutely.
It seems like
Absolutely.
it looked like Dan Campbell did a better job than Sirianni at finding his coordinators. And on that vein, my stud of the week,
Ooh.
Calvin Shepard. Holy shit, bro! Defensive coordinator for the Lions. I've been pretty vocal about spying mobile quarterbacks, and it seems like defensive coordinators are so scared of it because they might think of it as removing one player from your defense, but it's exactly what you need to do against these guys. 11
It's
times.
removing a player from their offense.
Yep.
Exactly.
Neutralizing.
11 times they spied Lamar Jackson. And you go look at those stats on those 11 times, it is abysmal for the Ravens. 3 times sacked, no yards gained, really, like negligible. And I mean, the thing is, they didn't spy just one guy, because if you spy just one guy, it's pretty obvious to Lamar what they're gonna do. They spied 6 times, one LB. I had his name just pulled up. They were
very creative at the end of the day.
I had this play here. Anyways, they spied 3 different linebackers and they all did their job. So, I mean, it resulted in 7 sacks to Lamar, and I think it might create a shift in how defensive coordinators game plan for mobile quarterbacks.
Hopefully,
And
because
it should have been.
I feel like so many of us have complained for years now about just why aren't we spying mobile quarterbacks nearly to the degree that we should be, because the reason that Lamar is just so dynamic is because of his ability
There's so
to
much space.
extend the play and create so much space. And when you minimize that space and you neutralize an entire half of his game, it becomes a much tougher offense to run. Not just for him, but to call plays for, but to execute on the offensive line, because they have to protect for longer, because the receivers have to get open for longer. It makes the entire rest of the offense have to work harder. And if they're not prepared for something like that, it's going to result in what we saw on Monday Night Football. So, yeah, huge credit to the Lions for that game plan.
And one thing I noticed in how they use their spies is they weren't just sitting in their spots pre-snap and sitting it through the play. They were often disrupting guys in the line of scrimmage and coming back to their spot. So that's doing multiple things at once. Sometimes they would disrupt, sometimes they would just sit. Like, it really kept Lamar guessing. So it's something that needs to happen more, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100% with you. How do we feel about our remaining teams here? Anybody jump off the page to you guys?
Chargers.
I would actually argue that both of the next two teams or should be in Aston Martin.
I would actually say the Chargers belong even higher. I think
Well,
Super
since
Super
we're
Bowl.
talking about the Chargers, shout out Omarion Hampton, Jacob's Stud of the Week, first time award winner. You know, I know he's elated to win this. He's super honored.
Yep.
You know, I just talked to him earlier, so he knows.
Oh, that's excellent.
He's really happy about it.
Yeah, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, congratulations, Omarion. I really hope you enjoy Coast
Cheers,
Ball.
dude.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, yeah.
Yeah, so like we'll see how the rest of this goes. If we want to crown an NFC team in Superhero Supervillain Super Bowl as well, just for the theming, right? But I don't really know who out of these 5 remaining NFC teams even belongs up there because
It's definitely not the Rams. It's definitely
not
not the
the-
Niners because they're too
I
injured.
think they're both in bougie.
Yeah,
Some-
it's definitely
you know.
not
It's
Tampa
probably the Chargers,
because
honestly.
I was just gonna say that.
Well-
But the Chargers are in NFC. We're talking about NFC.
Yeah, so we could
What
say
are
the
the
Chargers
Lions?
are up there, and I'd be fine with that. But if we want to stick to the theming,
There's not an NFC team deserving of that spot.
that's what my problem is. I don't think so either.
Why not just the Lions?
But are they the
'Cause they're
second
not
best
deserving.
team? Like, this is where we're, this is where our conundrum comes.
I could probably argue that.
I
could probably argue that.
I can't. I genuinely believe that the Chargers are
There's no way you can
clearly
argue
the
the
best
Lions
team.
are
Second
second
best.
best team when they have a loss, and their loss was in dominant fashion to a team that
if
just
the
lost to
if the Lions play anyone right now, I'm picking the Lions to win.
anyone.
Anyone.
You'd pick the
I'm
Lions
that
to
confident.
beat the Bills.
I'm that confident. They're
That's such an L,
they are extremely well rounded.
We'll do this. I'm putting the Chargers up in S because Vitor and I both wanted them in S, and then we'll have the Lions
arguing
at
for
number.
yes.
I want them in S. I want the Chargers in S too.
Oh, I thought
You
you
said A.
you said Aston Martin at the beginning, but it's okay. And then we'll put Lions at number 3, the first team in Aston Martin. Man, these other two, I think this is reasonable. This makes a lot of sense to me. Putting the Eagles and the Commanders up in bougie as well. Commanders played an excellent game of football, but against the lowly Raiders, right? But it's nice to see a backup quarterback doing his job, scoring a lot of points. But the Eagles, they clutched up and they won that game, but they only played, and they played well in the most meaningful quarter, in the most crucial quarter. That was my argument that I made yesterday. But still, at the same time, you
But are
played
they
3
a
quarters
tier
of bad
below-
football.
But are they a tier below Tampa?
I think
What's the big
they-
difference? What's the
uh,
big difference?
I don't think that you move the Eagles up. Then I think you would move the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down.
I'm okay with that. I don't think Tampa should be regarded as a top 5 team. I do not trust this team.
But okay, that's fine. Who do we move ahead of Tampa, even in bougie? Because I just don't see it with the Eagles. I don't see it with the
Maybe
Commanders.
the Niners.
But the Niners are so banged up. They're so injured. Like they're winning
Sam
football games.
Purdy-
Fuck you,
Purdy-
Broofy. Broofy, fuck off. The Bucks are better than the Niners. Let's not be stupid here.
But that's the issue too, right? The Buccaneers are also
these
banged up.
wins-
They're also banged up.
These wins are not sustainable, man. They're not sustainable.
Okay.
They're
and
not gonna keep
I
winning
can't
like
believe-
this.
I-
Baker's gonna start balling
I
out.
can't believe I'm
Only how
playing-
they're winning.
I
That's
can't believe I'm
only how
playing
they're
devil's
winning.
advocate against the Niners right now too, but that's how the Niners are winning right now as well. It's been 1-score games. It's been and I said that
Broofy, do you not remember the touchdown pass
Okay.
Brock Purdy threw against the Seahawks to win that game?
perfect ball,
He threw
horrible
it
decision.
at the Seahawks defender.
Perfect
I
ball,
remember that.
horrible decision. I will die on that hill.
Listen, there's a difference with doing it with Baker Mayfield and doing it with Mac Jones. Brady comes back and trusts the Niners more than Tampa.
I hear you, and I want to agree.
You just said
I
that
think-
they did it with Purdy. You
I think
fucktard.
down the stretch, I think
We're talking
down
about
the
the last
stretch, I think the Niners might be the better team because they will get a lot of the Avengers back, as we move forward down the stretch of the season. But Right now, I can't do that because they're just so depleted everywhere, and they have won very similar games to the Buccaneers. And I think the Buccaneers are a little bit healthier, not by much, but they've also shown more along the way that they are more capable of beating top contenders than I think the 49ers have shown
Listen,
in the last 3 weeks.
I hear you, but I'm putting my money on it. It's not gonna go on for much longer.
It might not, and you might be correct, but based on the 3 weeks that we've seen, I don't think you can argue anybody else in this bougie tier should be ahead of Tampa.
Okay.
Ruby, stop grasping at straws. The Bucks are better. Deal with it.
Listen, I don't know how to say it, man. They're playing bad football into the last quarter, man. Every time.
It's not bad football. Let's.
They're playing bad football until the fourth quarter. They totally didn't have a 3-touchdown lead going into the third quarter against the Jets. They played
then what
horrible in
happened?
the first 2 quarters to get that 3-touchdown lead.
Man, against the Jets, bro. I don't care about a.
There was
against the Jets.
Man.
But my team lost
they had a
33-8
brutal
against the
fumble,
Colts.
and a blocked field goal returned for a touchdown. That's what made that game so close. What happened though was when disaster struck, they clutched up, drove down the field, and won the game.
Yeah, but
You can't
by the
ask
way,
for
Aaron
better.
Glenn, another dud, bro. What the fuck you dancing for, bro? 2 minutes left, dog. What are we doing?
This is a Dolphins
God.
fan talking shit on another team, by the way.
I can talk shit about the Jets. This is the one team I can talk shit about. Fuck the Jets.
Hey, you know what? Since we're on dud talk and we're talking head coaches, my dud, Brian Callahan, dog. You should never touch a football field
Dog.
ever again. Honest
Is
to
he gonna
God.
get fired before McDaniel? Like, are we
Yes,
nearing that?
yes, absolutely. He doesn't.
It's so bad.
It's gotten so bad that he doesn't know the rules to the league. We discovered that a couple weeks ago and last season. frankly.
Yes.
This week, did you guys see what happened at the end of the half? Pete, Pigskin Pete
I
of
did
the
not.
of Goat House was also arguing, like rambling about it during the Pick'em show. It was asinine. The what transpired at the end of the half there between the Colts and the Titans. Oh my God, the Titans in enemy territory had a long field goal to kick, and he misses. Okay, whatever. You know, it was a tough field goal. 55 plus or whatever. The Colts drive down. They get into enemy territory. It's a long field goal. Their guy misses. Spencer Schrader misses. Okay. So now you're back near midfield again as the Titans. You drive into enemy territory. You get a 4th and short. 4th and 2 at like the 38-yard line of Indianapolis or something. Instead of going for it on 4th down because you're right there and you could get a first down, right? Or kicking the field goal right there, they lined up the field goal, got a delay of game while lining up the field goal unit. So it turned 4th and 2 to 4th and 7, even further back. And then
they
he
punched it, right?
missed. No, he missed the field goal. So then Indianapolis gets the ball at that spot. They drive down into enemy territory and kick a field goal to end the half. That was what transpired. And it's just the most fundamental, like, this team is just so unorganized and nothing is in synergy with one another. And it starts with the head coach. It starts at the top. 100%. Always has, always will. He needs to be fired yesterday.
I forgot
Yeah.
to mention, but my dud of the week is fourth quarter Matthew Stafford.
Not the
Holy.
not the Rams long snapper. Did you see
No,
people were
just
clowning
Matthew
on him for
Yeah. They were like, this guy had money on the Rams, or on the Eagles, I mean.
Oh my God. And then I saw this other clip that people were clowning on Twitter. This guy who was cheering about, Eagles covered -3.5. Let's fucking go. But while he's watching the game live, he has a broom trying to sweep the ball away to make it miss. If the field goal just misses, they win by 1 and you don't cash out, you moron. You're obviously rooting for a block return for a touchdown. Like, you don't even know how to root for your team properly to hit your bet, you fucking idiot. Oh my God. I'm so glad people are clowning on him. That's I don't want to get into this, but the other thing that's driving me nuts just about the sports culture in general is the amount of sports bettors that think the world revolves around them to where they think
Yes.
rules need to be changed to benefit their gambling addiction.
Oh, you're talking about the
this.
fucking Malik Washington run not reception.
There was that one, and then
Yeah,
there was another
that was that
example
one.
in the Chiefs game as well. But yes, absolutely, I am talking about that. That is clearly a lateral pass. I can't be the only one that sees it. That is clearly a lateral. That
It
is
was.
not a forward pass. That is a rushing attempt by Malik Washington. Whether you like it or not, that is the rule. And people are, he clearly throws it forward. Dude, his arm is out here and it comes this way. How is that forward? The line of scrimmage is that way. Oh my God, it drove me nuts. But anyway.
It's so dumb. And
I
I'm
completely
with
agree
the
with you.
athletes on this one. As much as I want to be like, okay, well, Aaron Judge sold my parlay, for example. Like, let's say I have a parlay, 8 legs hit, but the one leg that misses. Aaron Judge sold my parlay. If you are one of those people who tweets at the fucking guy who didn't get a hit, and you're like, hey, you sold my parlay, pay me. You're an idiot.
You're
That guy
miserable.
doesn't owe you shit.
Miserable.
Miserable.
They-
Actually miserable.
News flash. There is multiple up to 11 players on the other team that get paid over $100 million combined every single year to stop that guy from getting a hit in the game. Just so you know. So it's not like he just has to get a hit every single fucking day. Newsflash, everybody out there.
Yeah.
It's not the player's fault.
Some people need to hear that. So.
No. It's exactly no. You're completely wrong, Jacob. It is obviously the player's fault. Judge should have known that I had $3
yeah.
on a parlay that would have won me 200, and he should have hit that fucking home run. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't
now he owes
express
you
it clearer.
$200.
I can't express
Yep.
it clearer. Anyway.
Dude, let me just put out a 30-leg home run parlay and then tweet at all the 28 players who don't hit a home run that day
Yeah.
and be like, hey, you guys have to group up and pay me the $700 million that this payout would have been.
Real quick, my stud of the week was Isaiah Rodgers, literally making history. Nobody ever in the NFL history has done what he did in the first half for the Vikings against the Bengals that week, scoring 2 touchdowns, forcing a fumble, intercepting the ball. Like, what an unbelievable week for him. That's awesome to see. And again, under the radar player, which is always what we want to try to do with studs. Because we don't need to tell you that Josh Allen was a stud this week. I mean, you can assume that already, right? So yeah, hats off to Isaiah Rodgers. Great performance.
Yeah.
You know who was not a stud this week?
Let's hear it.
Tua turned the ball
Man,
over.
shut the fuck up, bro. Yeah, I fucking knew it too, man. Fucking knew it too, man. Dude, I saw a guy, a Dolphins fan, saying, "Oh, we should trade Tua and Tyreek for C.J. Stroud." Who does he think C.J. Stroud is?
Look,
What does he
that's a
think?
fair evaluation of a trade, though. It's a pretty fair trade.
Who does he think C.J. Stroud is?
Gotta be honest with you.
Right-handed Tua.
I think the Texans start to win games if that happens. That's
I think so,
that's how
too.
bad Stroud's been.
Oh my god! Like, come
Yeah,
on.
I think the Texans would have to take that.
Yeah,
They take that. Of course, they take that.
that's an awesome bit. Yeah, great job,
Dolphins
Great
fans,
job, guy.
Dolphins fans are in a state of desperation. Where if I go, yeah, you know what? 2 firsts, 2 and Tyreek for C.J. Stroud, they're probably signing on that. It's unbelievable. And change the subject. Kyle Riley just hit his 60th home run.
Cal Raleigh's a dog. Shout out Cal Raleigh.
and
Our-
I
our
hate him
MVP.
for it. I hate him for it. But yes,
There are legit people
congratulations.
saying Aaron Judge should win the MVP, though.
Nah, it should be Cal Raleigh. That offensive production from the catcher position has never been seen before. I don't care if Aaron Judge hit so many home runs. It doesn't really matter to me.
I mean, Aaron Judge for his entire career, as long as he's healthy, will be a perennial MVP candidate. So I am all for spreading the love and spreading the wealth. Don't just hand it
this
to the
is
same player every
100%
season.
a situation of voter fatigue, but I do not care.
Well, is it though? I mean, because Cal Raleigh is
I think Riley just has an argument. I
statistically
don't think it's none of
having
that.
at least an equal, if not stronger, year. I think maybe voter fatigue is a small part of it, but I think just again sharing the wealth, I think, is more than okay in MLB baseball. It's the same thing. Like, are we really going to reward Shohei Ohtani every year, even if he's not quite as good or he's not pitching a certain like? No, we want to recognize other people in the sport.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Well, what do we have your picks?
Yeah. Rapid fire picks here. Yeah, so same thing we've been doing. Just, your pick, why briefly, and maybe a player to look out for or a situation that might happen. Hot take.
Yeah.
We've got
I'll start off.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, the Thursday night game isn't. Where's the Thursday night game at? Because we'll do that one first.
Seattle at Arizona is the Thursday night game this week on Amazon Prime.
All right.
Sponsored? Not.
Thursday night football. Give me the Cardinals. I'm going to be riding with my boy Kyler Murray here. He isn't good at football, but, I really just hope that he actually is good because I think I'm going to have tomorrow night off, and I just want to watch the little 12-year-old toddler who's running around with his parents' cell phone. I want to watch him go out there and ball. So give me Kyler Murray to ball out against the Seahawks.
You didn't pick them last week.
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay, fair enough.
I was right not to. The Niners won.
Yes,
what
you were.
about it?
You were right. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
well, fair enough.
I will say, Kyler Murray was probably one of the only Cardinals to play a really solid game throughout the whole game. Just like his receivers couldn't catch the ball. James Conner tears his ACL. It was an ACL, right? Or Achilles?
Yeah. And Marvin Harrison Jr. might be
a bust.
Like,
Yeah. Could be entering that.
Yes,
field,
I was just about to say that. I'm gonna be
Marvin Harrison Jr. on his
game.
Kevin White arc.
yeah, that's a
Travis
perfect
Benjamin. Is that you?
perfect comparison. Kevin White, perfect. They were almost the same pick too. Kevin White was pick 5, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, let's hear it, Vitor.
I'm picking Seattle in this one. I always find it entertaining to watch Kenneth Walker run. He runs am I the only one that finds him entertaining?
No, he's a lot of fun
Yeah.
to watch. That's why I had him. He was my RB1 coming out of college. I had him above Brees Hall. So I've always been a big K9 guy.
Yeah, so I am picking Seattle here. And am I a horrible person to say I'm gonna be hate watching Marvin Harrison?
Nah, dude, he frustrates me too. It's like
because I cannot fathom. I cannot fathom to understand being a top prospect, generational prospect in your position. You can't catch the football. I can't fathom it.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I'm 6'4". Like I have a pretty athletic frame. I get it. I have a ton of wasted potential inside myself. But Marvin Harrison Jr. has so much potential that is just being wasted right now.
Is he what Jamar Chase or what people thought Jamar Chase was gonna be in his rookie year? Like, oh, I can't catch, and is this what we expected Jamar Chase to be?
That might actually be a reasonable comparison as well. I do remember that first training camp with Jamar Chase. He dropped a couple of passes. People were like, "Oh my God, they made a big mistake!" Oh,
yeah.
They should have drafted whoever the tackle was.
No, Pitts was 4. Pitts was before. Yeah.
Yeah, Penei Sewell.
You know what? You know what? They should have. You know what?
Imagine the Lions with Jamar Chase and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And Jameson Williams.
Oh.
Because Jameson Williams was a different draft class.
Yeah.
Do you think they do that trade straight up? Like, do you think it makes sense for both sides?
The Bengals don't do that. Neither do the Lions. The Lions don't do that either.
Yeah.
They're happy with the player they got. It's just, obviously the Bengals are paying for not taking a tackle.
Yeah.
I've got the Seahawks as well. I think it'll be a tight one. The Cardinals have played tight all season so far, really. But I think I just trust the Seattle roster more. I think they can create a turnover. I'm looking at Devin Witherspoon to do that.
Lovely.
Okay, next up on the NFC slate, since we started this way, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sunday morning football for me. Yes, West Coast is the superior coast. Let's hear it, guys. What do we have this game?
Whatever.
Give me the Buccaneers to get it done. Baker Mayfield is going to be the better Oklahoma quarterback this Sunday morning in the West Coast, even though it's in the East Coast.
Yeah,
And this is coast to coast.
that's true. Yes, factual
Actually,
statements.
this is Coast Knows Ball,
Well, it's still coast to coast.
a coast to coast production.
Yeah, yeah. Coastception.
Coast
I picked the Eagles to win this game, but not because of the Eagles. I don't really trust them all that much either. But I have to put my money where my mouth is, and if I keep saying I don't trust Tampa and they're gonna fall eventually, I think it makes sense that it happens against the Eagles. So just a gut feeling, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Look, it's certainly a winnable game for the Eagles, but I'm gonna take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they're gonna edge it out again. They've had the Eagles number the past couple years. Not that I think matters too much right now because the Buccaneers are pretty depleted. But I still trust this offense to make the extra play. The Eagles offense was impressive in the fourth quarter last game, but if they're gonna be playing 3 quarters of uninspired football every game, they're not going to beat a good team like the Buccaneers, I don't think.
I got a player to watch though.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Tampa just signed Desmond Watson again to their practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
How funny would it be if they elevate him and he stops the tush push?
Hilarious.
Oh,
And awesome,
Jacob just
frankly.
fucked up his elbow.
Oh, you hit your funny bone?
Yeah, funny bone.
Oh,
I was putting my arm up to point at the OU license plate because my player to watch is Sterling Shepard, but I smacked my elbow right on this lip right here.
Oh fuck yeah!
oh,
My
poor
boy is
guy.
gone.
So mad.
Speaking of the tush push, real quick, did you guys see how they said they were going to crack down on the illegal formation in the fall
We
start?
forgot to talk about
and
that.
they didn't
then
call
they
it on the Eagles.
immediately missed
They
it
called
again
it
a week
on.
later,
No,
twist
they did call it on the Eagles, but they called it on the Saints on their first drive. They ran it once on their first drive, and they called a false start on on Kellen Moore.
That is so hilarious.
Oh my!
Of course.
You could not. There's just no way you could convince me that the Eagles are the new meta for the NFL. They will not penalize them for a play like that ever. It won't happen. The play will have to get banned.
Oh yeah, the Eagles are going to be the new Chiefs. That's what is going to happen.
I hope it gets banned at this point, and there's a lot of reasons for it. It's not because only the Eagles can do it. Clearly, there's an issue with calling penalties against it. I don't know how, but there is.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest point to me is a linebacker cannot push a defensive tackle, but a running back can push the quarterback.
Right. Yes.
That to me
is
makes
the
no
argument.
sense.
That is the argument I've made for years about this play.
That to me makes no sense.
The first time that people were talking about, oh man, this is kind of an unfair play. I'm like, that's exactly why the linebackers can't push a defensive tackle forward. That's a penalty. Why?
Yeah.
That is unfair. That is literally unfair by the rules, by design. The play needs to be banned. It's not just the too high shell, that people are like, oh, we should ban this. It's a bad product. No, get the fuck out of here. Just play better
No, I
offense.
just-
Definitely
there's-
consider it an illegal formation.
Too high shell
tush
or
push?
tush push.
Tush push.
Yes, absolutely. That's the current way that they want to be officiated is either illegal formation, which it is technically by definition, but they just don't call it, or a false start because the Eagles guards have been showing up early to the line of scrimmage almost every time this season, but they don't call it. So anyway, brutal for the Saints, I guess. That's all I can add.
Hey man, we just want the number one pick.
Yeah, fair enough. You run more tush pushes and you'll get closer.
Hey man, I'm all for the Joe Judge strategy of QB sneak on 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
If you don't get that reference, you're not a real football fan.
Dude, I remember
the
seeing
booze,
that.
bro. I remember the booze.
I remember
the
seeing
booze
that,
on the
and I'm
stadium
just
after
like,
that shit.
are we fucking for real, man? Are we
Yeah, dude,
fucking
like,
for real?
What in the Pee Wee City League bullshit is this?
I didn't watch it live, but if I was, I probably would have turned the game off.
I think that is.
It's worse than the Pat McAfee punt thing.
Ooh,
I watched that live.
It's close.
That I watched live.
That is probably the lowest that any NFL offense has ever gone, and we have 2-0-16 football teams in NFL history. But it's never been that
Yeah.
low. It has. It's crazy.
Never been that low. They were passing at least into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every game.
All right. The Washington Commanders coming off of an impressive win, facing off against the Atlanta Falcons, who got blanked by the Panthers last week. What do we think about this one?
Give me the commies. They're the better team. Fuck Atlanta.
Yeah,
I'm with
give me.
Pete from 2021. I'm never picking the Falcons again.
Yeah. Do we know anything on Daniels? Not that it matters. I'm still picking the Commanders.
I don't think he's going to play. There's a chance he does. He's not out yet, but
Whatever.
it should be Mariota.
My eyes on Raheem Morris. If I see you laughing again, Raheem Morris, I'm actually going to lose it. Like, I'm not even kidding at this point. I'm actually going to. I'll let it go.
If he laughs in back-to-back games, he might get fired for that.
He might get fired, right?
And then they're going to make Zach Robinson the interim head coach.
Oh yeah, hell yeah,
It's,
Bijan to the moon.
it'll be like Christmas all over again. It's like Bryce Young got drafted all over again.
Yeah, yeah. I've got the Commanders as well. I think the Falcons can have a bounce back game here. I could see them winning, frankly, but certainly not going to be my pick. I do think the Commanders are better. They're playing better football on both sides. I think they're going to be able to move the ball a lot better. Their offensive play calling, we had concerns about Cliff maybe being figured out, and he, for all intents and purposes, might be figured out with regard to the better defenses in the league. But like after last week's performance, I don't even know if the Falcons are a good defense either, So, yeah, just more faith in the Commanders and their coaching.
I agree.
All right. Next up,
Oh, yeah.
Sunday
Oh, yeah.
Night Football. Obviously out of order because we're just going NFC first.
Yeah.
We got the Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. Interesting
I think
one.
the Packers are going to bend the Cowboys over. I don't think this game is going to be close. I think
see
the
it.
Packers, coming off of a frustrating loss to the Browns, are going to do their thing where Jordan Love pops off against a bad defense, and they do what they did like in the playoffs against the Cowboys, and it's just smooth sailing off of play-action wheel routes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think Packers get back on track. An obvious player to watch is Micah Parsons.
Yeah, revenge game.
Entertaining to say the least.
Give me
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft is going to have a day.
He been a dog.
Is he
He's
coming
been a
back?
dog.
Is he injured?
He got hurt against Commanders.
He's
Yeah.
questionable. He's questionable.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, whoever's playing tight end for the Packers, he's going to pop off.
Yeah, probably.
You are playing tight end for the Packers this week.
Me!
You.
Shit. And LaFleur can scheme me open.
Yeah, probably.
He's gonna.
Jordan
He's
Love.
Gonna.
Jordan Love won't throw it to you though. He'll miss.
Bro, I just realized I'm going to have to be chip blocking Osa Odigizua. Fuck that. You're telling me I got to pick up a blitz off of Trayvon Diggs? Fuck no, dude.
Yeah, boy, he's putting on your ass, bro.
That'll
He's not even touching me. He's
that'll
just
be the-
crossing me up
He's going
so
around
bad.
you, yeah.
that'll be the only highlight Trevon Diggs has in the entire game. It's destroying
Dude, he's
you.
horrible.
He's terrible.
He's so bad at football.
He wasn't good when he led the league in interceptions. I will stick to that. He allowed the most yards in the NFL that season as a corner.
Yeah.
I
And
don't get the hype. I don't
was
get
the,
it.
It was the year after that he was good. It was the year after
Yes,
that he
where
played good.
yeah,
Yes, he improved, yeah.
Yes, But that year's not talked about at all because he didn't
No.
intercept the ball.
Because he didn't get interceptions.
So stupid. I hate the NFL so much. Anyway, we have a Dublin, Ireland game between the Minnesota Vikings and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh
Give me
Steelers
the
kind of robbed of a
Vikings.
home
Fuck
game, but who
Pittsburgh.
cares?
Yeah, give me the Vikings. Fuck Pittsburgh.
Give me the Vikings. Fuck Pittsburgh. That's real easy. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
All right, Pittsburgh.
Dude, just make it 10 seconds short, and it's just all three of us saying, "Give me the Vikings, fuck Pittsburgh," and then it just.
Dude, Pittsburgh fans will love that, man. Especially if they end
Send
up
it to
winning.
You
Cameron.
said that short to
me
Cameron,
tell you.
and we just
Yeah.
start pinging.
Let me tell you, we all picked the Ravens in the episode, right? And since that game ended and they lost, I have had like 50 Lions fans through all three platforms leave a comment, be like, "What now? What now?"
Really?
Yes. Look at the
Okay,
TikTok. Look at the comments on TikTok. It's a bunch of Lions fans being like, "Oh, where are you at now? This
Man,
ain't
they talking
this
their
ain't poorly."
shit,
It's like, oh, I love that we're victory lapping now. I'm all here for it. Give me the engagement, baby. Come on, give it to me. Keep going. Keep going.
Do it.
Let me have
Man,
another.
they're
Let's
talking
go.
their Shit.
Man, look at the
And yeah,
comments.
Yeah, the
For-
Lions one has 655 views.
On YouTube or
Yeah.
yeah, on TikTok it has like 1,300, and like
Go
a
ahead.
bunch
Dude,
of comments.
everyone in the comments are salty. They're all like,
They're,
"That ain't
they
real."
are. It's so. They are so upset that we picked against their team. It's really amusing, honestly. I don't like. I don't care. I'm not.
Listen,
upset
for
about
the
it.
record, we take full accountability, okay? If we
Yeah.
fuck up, we fuck up.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, shout out. Hey, this is our first fan shout out. Shout out to Kerr Nation 22 for being defensive of us. Hindsight is 2020. No need to get defensive when you publicly pick games. People are going to see you get things wrong. Detroit played awesome. I thought Baltimore would win by a field goal. I was also wrong. Nothing against the Lions. Shout out to you.
Shout
Kerr
out.
Nation.
What a
You're-
goat. What a
You're a
goat.
smart football fan.
What a goat.
Yeah, shout out to him. That was great. I did leave a like on that one, but it was just really funny. Like waking up on Tuesday and looking at the comments on TikTok, like, what the fuck, man? We just made picks.
have to-
We didn't say
I
that
have
Jared
to
Goff.
read this.
We
Hold
didn't
on,
say
I
that
have to
Jared
read
Goff
this.
murdered your son. Like, I mean, relax. Like, calm down. We're
I
not
have to
defaming
go-
the
I have
Lions.
to go read this.
It was funny though. I was amused.
Yeah.
But all right. While Vitor reads those comments, let's talk about the Panthers
Holy
and the
shit.
New England Patriots. The Panthers looking really good last. It's crazy, right? It's fucking crazy. There is not one comment that isn't a Lions fan in that comment section. Everybody's a Lions fan.
Holy shit, we
They're
got
also
rated.
salty, too. I'm looking at it. I'm pulling up the TikTok one. That's now.
It's crazy. Hey, again, I am all for the engagement. Please give us engagement. We're all for it.
Vitor changed his pick before the game. Yeah.
Yes.
I was an idiot and I didn't change an ESPN, but I have my dad as a witness.
Blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
dude, hold
The
up,
words
that's-
that was Detroit's year say it all. Only the best damn record of the last 3 years.
We're actually getting really good engagement on TikTok. I didn't know that.
Yeah, these NFL shorts are kind of popping off, especially the ones where we pick the loser, evidently.
Dude, 14 comments. One of them posted. One of them posted the fucking laughing emoji with it pointing at us.
Yeah.
It's the scoreboard.
Yeah. Yeah. That one was really
One of
funny.
the comments says, "We're waiting on an update."
And mind you, it got engagement before the game ended, right? It had like
But
maybe
it blew
half
up
the
after.
views. But yeah, all the comments come after. Like none of these Lions fans are repping their team before the game. They were shaking in their boots just like everyone else was. watching that Monday night game. They just come over to Victory Lap
Hey,
right
honestly,
after.
Lions fans real as shit, bro. Because I would do the same
course.
thing, bro. So
Of course,
fucking
nobody wants to
real.
comment on the ones where I'm bold statementing it. Like, nobody wants to comment on the Jags one, even though the Jags one has a ton of views. Nobody wants to comment on the Chargers one where I
Because
picked
we
them
got
as my
those
survivor
rights.
team.
We got those rights. That's why. Only if you get it wrong. Only if you get it wrong.
Oh yeah,
will
by the way,
comments show up.
I lone wolfed the Chiefs. No, why is nobody giving me my flowers?
What?
In the comments. Didn't I lone wolf the Chiefs?
No.
We all picked the Chiefs.
I thought you guys picked the Giants.
We were just saying that
No.
the Giants could win if Russ had a good performance.
We
Yeah,
said
I'm
if
a
Russ
moron.
plays
I'm a
like he
moron.
did the week prior, then the Giants probably win the game.
I'm-
but
I'm
we
hiding
did
my
not
webcam
expect
out of
that to
shame.
happen.
Yeah, fuck that, bro.
We picked the Chiefs. I put money on the Chiefs.
Oh
There's no
my
way I would have
God.
picked the Giants.
Wait, you put money on the Chiefs. You.
Yeah, me put money on the Chiefs.
You put U.S. currency on the Chiefs. You.
Mooey.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Moving on.
Why is that so
Okay.
hard to believe? It was a good matchup.
You're the Chiefs' number one hater. I mean, it's like if I put money
Yeah,
on the
but
Bills.
dollar signs don't give a fuck about emotions.
I fucking do. I am never in my life putting money on the Bills. Can I ever be clear about that?
Yeah, I shouldn't have put money on the Falcons. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, shit. Let me tell you.
Dude, in the middle of the game when they were down 14-0, I live bet plus 21 and a half, thinking surely they don't give up and lose by 8 more points than they're already losing by.
And guess what?
They outdid. Hey, they didn't lose by 8 more points. They lost by fucking 16 more points. They said we can do you one better.
Speak of the devil here.
Yeah, the
Panthers,
Carolina
Patriots.
Panthers at the New England Patriots. Sunday morning football. Panthers looking like they could be returning to the late season form from last season. I'm excited for it. I'm all here for it. Frankly, we all are. We all picked the Panthers to make the playoffs. But the Patriots really need a win too, and it feels like they're like just don't have an identity right now. So this is an equally important game for either squad. As it stands right now, the momentum is on the Panthers side, so that's what I'm taking. But I could see myself changing my pick before the game starts.
I'm going to go ahead and pick the Patriots, but I am already out on them for the entire season. I think this coaching staff is already going to be a massive flop, and I don't see this coaching staff ever having playoff success.
Yep, reasonable. Vitor?
Okay. I'm picking the Panthers in this one. Both teams don't give me a ton of courage. But I don't know. I think the Panthers running game can get going here. Maybe. You said it earlier. Drake May is a little bit inconsistent. This Panthers defense showed out last week, so I'm hoping to see that again.
All right.
And no, not a bias pick for those wondering.
I want to see more volume from Ted McMillan. He is making his presence known when he gets the ball, but still not a ton of volume yet. But looks like a hit for sure. All right. Next up, the Chargers at the New York
Yep.
Giants. The Jackson Darts
Give me the
led New York
Chargers.
Giants. All right, we heard
Give
it.
me the Chargers.
Yeah.
The Chargers are going to walk in to New Jersey because the Giants don't fucking play in New York. And they're going to walk into New Jersey. And they're going to look Brian Dable right in the fucking eye. And they're going to say, you see that end zone? And he's going to say, yeah. They're going to say, I'm fucking walking there. And they're going to walk all over the end zone. And the Chargers are going to go in there and they're going to win this football game.
Yeah. Listen, I have a big problem with this game, and it's how the Giants are handling Dart. Because to me, there's two paths you take when you draft a quarterback.
What's his face?
Either
Who's their cornerback for the Chargers? The one who's a kid of a former NFL player. Asante Samuel.
Yeah.
he's not there anymore.
No, he's
Is he?
Oh, he's not.
no. I don't know who he was a free agent for ages.
Yeah, he's still a free agent.
He is. I can't believe he still is. How is nobody?
Miami gave him an offer.
He declined it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's still shocking to me. But yeah, still a free agent.
So, and so when you draft a quarterback, it's either he's going to start week 1 for you and let him go through his growing pains and be the franchise guy.
Or you start him against the best defense in the NFL, so you don't look like an idiot for benching him to start.
Or he sits and develops. They're not doing that. Like, this is clearly a desperation move, throwing him out there. Of course, he has to understand his position. He should be ready for this. I'm not saying that.
Hey guys, just so you know, my hotspot is my phone is at 1%, and my charger is not keeping up with it. So we're probably gonna lose internet in the middle of the recording right now.
Okay, let's rapid fire. Let's rapid fire. Give us your picks, and then I can splice them in later in case it happens. Just run right through them.
Okay, I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm picking the Chargers. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm gonna go with the Chargers, Bills, Lions, Rams, Niners, Bears, Texans, Ravens, Jets, and
Fuck
Broncos.
you, man.
And no hot takes or anything that you want to add.
Justin Fields throws for 250.
Oh, fuck you, bro. This ain't happening, bro. Not in my watch, bro. I'll go play corner if I have to, man. Man, put me in, coach.
Garrett Wilson doesn't drop the ball.
Holy shit, bro. I'm calling Anthony Weaver right now as we speak. I'm calling Anthony Weaver.
I am here for it, man. Well, we'll continue to go. Whenever you disconnect is cool. Recuperate your battery, so maybe we can get through the other episode after, but Vitor and I will continue as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I totally hear everything that you're saying about this is a really bad situation for Dart, and there's no philosophy going on with the Giants. It's just purely desperation and everything. But
desperation.
I also have a problem, not with you or anything like that, but with people that are saying like this. Starting a career against the Chargers is going to ruin this guy's career.
I don't care about
that. That is absolutely
that.
ridiculous.
I don't care about that.
What's going to ruin his career is this coaching staff, not whoever he starts.
Yeah, I don't care when he starts.
It might ruin it.
Who he starts against.
It might be ugly. We'll see, but it might be good.
Sure.
The thing is, if he is the guy that gives you the best chance of winning a football game, why not? You know what I mean? Why?
He's an NFL quarterback, bro. Exactly. He's gonna have to go through it.
Exactly.
I legitimately don't think that's that big of a deal.
And that's
surely
why
the timing of it is awkward.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's of course awkward timing, but it's always going to be awkward when it's Brian Daboll, right? But my thing is like I just don't care that it's the Chargers. It could be any team, and you could still have the same critique. Are we starting him too early? Should we have just started him from week 1? You could have.
Look at Michael Penix against the Panthers. Now, like, why does it matter?
Exactly my point. And so I'm just here like, if I'm the head coach, like this is why I don't mind the move, even though I hate Brian Daboll so much. If I'm the head coach and I have to think about the other 52 players on this roster, I guess 51 because you're not counting Russ, right? If I'm looking at everybody else on this roster trying to win a football game and working hard to win a football game, doing the best that they can every Sunday, I need to equip this team with the best possible lineup each game as well. And if Jackson Dart is the guy that gives you that best chance, then yeah, fucking start him the rest of the season. Like, I think, and again, you said that wasn't the case with you, and that's great because we agree pretty much with everything here. But like, if he gives you the best shot, there's no reason to just wait and waste time. Yeah. You're just wasting time at this point. What's he going to learn from Russ throwing 3 interceptions a game and just chucking it downfield on 4th and 1? Like, he's going to learn nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing. I know.
Did you guys watch the Instagram reel I sent you of the offensive game plan of the Giants where it's just moon ball?
Yeah.
Moonball.
Yeah.
CTE play.
Yep.
Moonball.
Scadaboo was the only guy getting production against the Chiefs. The only guy.
Mm-hmm.
You look good.
CTE play.
It was ridiculous.
Also, Scadaboo is like the least football player mindset football player of all time. Like, I saw an interview of him, and they were like, "So, what are your interests?" He's like, "I don't really care about sports. Like, I play Apex." He
He's just a.
legitimately, he's like, "I think Apex is the greatest game of all
Oh
time."
my god.
He said that. I swear to
Hey,
God.
look, it's just a chill dude, I guess. I can't.
Already has
Yeah,
CTE,
dude.
man. My God.
Yeah, Scadabo's just a stoner.
Oh,
Apparently.
Jacob, before you cut out again, give us your survivor pick.
Ooh, let me take the. Ooh, do I go
I thought he
bold
cut out
here?
right there.
I was
That would
thinking
have been
that.
so
I was
funny.
thinking that.
Dude, if I took the fucking Jets, that'd be so funny. No, I think I'm gonna go with the Bears for my survivor pick of the
Oh,
week.
okay. That's a fun pick.
Hmm
So I have been eliminated. I just went to check for my survivor.
have.
week
Yeah,
three.
you are
What a
definitely eliminated by
disgrace.
week 3.
What a dis fucking grace. Fuck you, Green Bay Packers, bro. Fucking bum ass
Well,
team,
you
bro.
set your own grave when you picked the
I
Dolphins week
guess,
1.
man. I was super confident in that fucking game, bro. I can't believe it.
Dude, I was so unconfident. I bet your team to not win by or not lose by 12. I had them plus 11 and a half, and I was still wrong about that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Unbelievable, man.
Vitor, maybe this is your survivor pick of the week if you could make one.
It would
The
be if I could,
Saints
yeah.
at the Bills.
Whoa, Perufi, you would pick the Bills for your survivor pick of the week? That doesn't go against your morals?
Not for Survivor. I'm
Oh,
surviving.
okay.
I'm surviving, man.
Okay, as long as you admit that you would lean on the Bills to get you by for a week.
You know what? Fuck you, Jacob. I
He's
wouldn't
not.
do
He's
it.
not taking the hatred to the grave.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be close. Probably. The Saints looked really awful last week. The Bills are the best team in the NFL. This is 32 versus 1. Yeah, moving on. The Cleveland Browns, who pulled off a massive upset last week against the Green Bay Packers, they're playing in Detroit against the Lions this week. I'm taking Detroit.
They're not doing that
Spoiler
again.
alert.
Yeah, they're not doing that again. I got Detroit.
Detroit
Yeah,
is on a
this is a
roll.
Lions win for sure.
They've got all the momentum in the world right now, honestly, out of, our top 3 momentum of any team in the NFL. Super high-powered offense. The defensive game plan, which we talked about in our tier list segment, was fantastic as well. So, yeah, 100% Detroit all the way.
But do I even have a player to watch? Like, does it matter for this game?
Jameson Williams.
Terran Arnold, maybe he stops holding.
The player to watch for
Interfering.
me is Isaiah Bond, because he's actually gotten some sleeper volume here over the last couple weeks, and I just want to see him develop more because I think he's a really solid talent that got undrafted for honestly no reason.
Yeah, I heard the guy's really fast,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he literally went from, okay, this guy's in first round talks in December to undrafted in April.
Yeah.
Undrafted and made it months without being picked up by a
Signing.
team. Yeah.
Because he had a legal thing. And it's stupid.
But we'll sign Mike Green, who was, his thing. Sure.
Yeah.
Right? Like, get real,
Who does look
NFL.
pretty bad, by the way.
Yeah. No production. All right. The Indianapolis Colts at the Los Angeles Rams. A thriller, if you will. Who would have thought going into the year?
Let me go first.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Because there's a player I'm really excited about in the Colts. It's a guy that I was extremely high on out of the draft. I said his ceiling was as one of the top edge rushers in the league, and that's Laiatu Latu. He's playing phenomenal. He's playing really, really well.
Yeah, he
Kinda
got
molded-
an interception. I can't remember who the quarterback was, though.
Truly molding into the player that I've expected him to be. And yeah, he's gonna be my player to watch here, and I'm picking the Colts. I think they continue the streak.
Okay. Jacob.
I think if the Colts win this game, it's a very legitimizing win for them. I think this is a huge stepping stone to show them if they're a serious team.
The Rams are not a serious team.
I don't think that they take this one. I do have the Rams winning. Although I do say if this was in Indianapolis, I'd probably be picking the Colts. Is that close?
Yeah, it's a coin flip for me as well. I'm leaning Rams right now, but that could change come Sunday afternoon. This you could argue this is a true test for the Colts, but look, I think they're just a solid team in general anyway, and the streak will end eventually. Will it be this week? It remains to be seen, but that's my current pick right now. I think I'm looking at both the running backs this game. Let's have a nice big running back fest here between Taylor and Kyron Williams, and Blake Corum has been getting some touches too. He's looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jacksonville Jaguars at the 49ers. The 49ers have Brock Purdy back at the starting role. He's, I guess, healthy this week, which is excellent. I'm so glad that he didn't play in week 3. You know, if you're not 100%, just sit it out. We know, you can be competitive with Mac Jones. Evidently, he went 2-0, filling in for relief. So yeah, the just a lot of really tough blows throughout the roster, though. Still with the injuries, I am gonna take the Niners in another squeaker. I think maybe by a field goal or something. The Jacksonville Jaguars are not an easy out right now. I think they're playing pretty solid defense, all things considered, despite the meltdown in week 2. I just don't know if Trevor Lawrence can make the extra play here. I think maybe the 49ers draw a turnover late in the game.
Capperville's doing a good job with the Jags defense. A lot of people were hoping he would be the Dolphins DC when he was our linebacker coach, and it was evident that he brought that energy, and that's kind of what he brought to that Jags room. So I do think they're gonna make it tough on the Niners, but with Purdy coming back and how high I am on this team, I'm gonna pick the Niners. And like you said, I think the defense just makes that extra play. Excited to see how they do without Bosa. So I'll keep an eye on the edge group.
Yep.
Yeah, like you guys said, I'm gonna be riding with the Niners. I just think they're the better team. Plus, they're at home. I will say it is interesting though. Both of the two more interesting matchups this week are both AFC South versus NFC West this week, with them being back to back on the matchup list here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Chicago Bears at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders kind of
This could
stinking it
very
up the
well-
last couple weeks. The Bears maybe starting to get on a roll here after that win against the Dallas Cowboys last Sunday. I'm taking the Bears here. I just have more faith in this roster right now. I loved what I saw last week on both sides of the ball, frankly. And Raiders team that has had such a hard time moving the ball in offense and has had a really hard time stopping opposing offenses in recent weeks. I'm going to lean on the team with the momentum right now.
There's virtually no reason for me to pick the Raiders here,
But you
other than they're playing at home. No,
Oh, okay. Nice.
no, I'm picking the Bears. Yeah, again, I'm being literal. I wasn't. Yeah, no, there's just no reason for me to pick the Raiders. They're playing at home, but yeah, no gut feeling whatsoever with this team.
Yeah, I'm riding with you guys here. I'm picking the Bears. This is my survivor pick of the week. Trying to make it a little bit more bold, so that way whenever the Raiders win, we can get plenty of comments from Raiders fans.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. All right. The next up, only 4 games on the AFC slate this week because AFC versus NFC is pretty busy. But first, we have the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Both 0-3 teams. One of these teams is going to be 0-4, and praying to God it's not Houston because that would be insane.
that'll be demoralizing.
That said, I am taking the Houston Texans. They have to get something figured out, and I think that this is a perfect week to get right in a lot of ways because they're going against a poor defense with 0 pass rush. This is a match made in heaven for a guy like Stroud who just crumbles under pressure and with this offensive line. So if they don't win this week, I'm out on them entirely. They're going 0-17.
Yeah, if they lose this game, CJ Stroud is fully a bust. He's irredeemable.
So, yeah, strong words there. But listen, I'm kind of in the same line of thought. And listen, I was just now joking about it with the Raiders, and there's not a lot of reasons for me to pick the Titans, but I kind of want to pick the Titans here. I like the Texans look so vulnerable. It feels like this is the type of game maybe the pressure gets to them and Tennessee finds an opening. Tennessee hasn't been that encouraging either, but I see it as my last vote of confidence for this Titans team. Maybe I'm putting too much trust in that coaching staff, but I'm going with the Titans.
Okay. That's a fun one to split on, I think.
I think so.
And I think we might be splitting on this one, too. The Baltimore Ravens at the Kansas City Chiefs. One of these teams after week 4 will be 1-3.
Nobody expected that.
Let's hear it,
And
guys.
it's going to be the Chiefs. The Ravens are winning this football game, plain and simple. They're the better football team by far. They've shown that in all of their games. They've had much more competitive games. It's taken pretty large collapses to lose to the Bills, for example. The Lions was a lot closer game as well, so I'm not really ashamed of that loss. The Lions are playing
The
really good
Lions,
football.
the Lions game wasn't as close as the score sheet shows.
Yeah, the Ravens were consistently
The Lions
behind.
had the game. The Lions had that game.
Ravens is still the
Regardless.
better team. Yeah. The Chiefs, I doubt the Chiefs defense is going to have any answers for Lamar. I assume Derrick Henry is going to get it figured out eventually. So I could see him having a big game.
I think,
This
like I
just
said,
screams Ravens win.
like I said earlier in the episode, I think the Lions might have given a blueprint. Maybe. I don't think the Chiefs are not going to spy Lamar here. I expect a thorough defensive plan by Spags, and I have the Chiefs winning at home.
And I think
So I'm
this would
looking
be
at Nick Bolton.
Yeah. I think this would be a perfect application to see if there is a pattern because of how adept Spagnuolo is as a coach defensively.
Yep.
And I am leaning Kansas City as well here. The Baltimore Ravens defense has been so underwhelming, and on every level, they're not generating enough pass rush. The pass defense, Malachi Starks has kind of been brutal to start the year. I mean, is Jair Alexander even playing? He's been a healthy scratch. Super disappointing. Of course, there's an avenue for the Ravens to win. I still think that they are a solid team deep down, but they need to get out of this rut. And the Chiefs are in a rut too. But it's such a tough game to pick. I could see myself picking the Ravens again before the game starts, but my gut right now is telling me that the Chiefs will start 2-2.
Yeah, right there with you.
Okay.
Gotta be the Ravens.
We have 2 Monday Night Football games again this week. We only had one last week, but we had 2 in week 2, which was interesting. First one, the Jets at the Dolphins. Dolphins on a little bit of a long break because of the Thursday night game. Vitor, let's hear it.
It's the rivalry uniforms, man. They can't
Yes.
lose, man. They can't lose. The season cannot
Hey,
get worse,
Ruby, At
man.
least you're gonna lose to the Jets in style.
Okay. Sure, obviously, but the season cannot get any worse, man. I say this, and then look what's going to happen. Tua is going to get concussed. Tyreek is going to tear an ACL, losing virtually any trade value. Yeah, it can always get worse, for sure. So, I'm an idiot. I'm picking this fucking team again, bro.
To be fair, they are the pick to make. I'm picking the Jets out of spite, but I do think the Jets have a good matchup here to win the game. I think Fields is going to run all over your asses.
Yeah. Look,
I hope Josh Allen gives you nightmares. Oh, you know what?
I hope you
Even
soil
better.
yourself in
Even
your
better.
sleep.
No. Even better. Even better. I hope Spencer Rattler throws for 500 yards and wins the game. How about that?
Yeah, there we go.
How about that?
That'll give him nightmares. All
I
right,
tapped the vein right there.
as
The
much-
dude died. Is it a
I
hot
thought,
spot?
I thought it was hotspot time for a second there. And that would have been such a funny timing if that happened, but hey, he's toughing out. We're almost at the end here. I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I do think this is going to be a pretty close game because the Jets do have a recipe of winning, and it's just run the football. Just play the style of football that your offense is geared to play and do it at a high enough level and you will be successful. But I think the Dolphins have a lot more that they're playing for right now. Because, a lot of these guys are playing for their jobs, essentially, playing for that paycheck. So I'm going to trust them with their tenacity. and their drive, and they did put up 3 good quarters of football, I thought, last Thursday as well. So they're trending a little bit in the right direction.
I think I trust the Niners more than you trust the Niners, and I think you trust the Dolphins more than I trust.
Oh, I don't trust the Dolphins. I'm trusting them over the Jets.
Dude,
And
don't
yet,
trust the Dolphins,
and
dude. Don't
yet,
trust yourself.
and yet, you trust them more than I do.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. If that's the case, fair enough.
And
All
the
right.
other Monday night game,
Yeah, next Monday night game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Denver
Oh,
Broncos.
perfect. Perfect. I have a different Type C charger that's significantly better than the one I was using.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
That being said, I really have to go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
did you say he
Jake
was taking the
Browning.
Broncos here?
Yeah. Jake, well, he's the guy who hates Jake Browning, remember that. We were the two
Oh,
that were
yeah.
like he was a high quality backup.
Well, he's not Joe Burrow. Of course, he hates him.
Right. Yeah. Look, Jake Browning really stunk it up. The whole Bengals team, though, I don't think it's very fair to cast blame only on Jake Browning. The defense was horrible.
You don't lose the way you did just on the QB.
Yeah, the offensive line was terrible. Chase Brown is another running back that has more yards after contact than he does have yards, and he only has he doesn't have that many yards either this year. He's only averaging 2 yards per carry. And he's a talented back. So there's just nothing going for this offense.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, he fumbled the ball, didn't he, on Sunday? It just a game from hell for everybody. And I'm not expecting that to happen again 2 weeks in a row. But I am taking the Denver Broncos because I think they just have a little
Me
bit
as
more
well.
going for them right now. The rushing attack did look significantly better this week. So yeah, despite the loss as well, right? But they played the Chargers really tight, and I think that we can expect more competitive play. I mean, they've been competitive all season so far. It's been 1-score games each game for the Broncos, but this is one that you kind of have to win if you want to stay competitive, and stick with the Chiefs, which I have going 2-2, and stick with the Chargers, which I have going 4-0. Right? If you want to be relevant in this division, this is a game that you must win, and it should be a no-brainer for the Broncos. So, give me them to take it.
Beautiful.
Do you have any
Lovely.
extra thoughts?
That's good. No, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's a must-win game. They have the pressure. They're playing Mile High. Yeah, I don't like Knicks though, so maybe my player to watch here, because if Cincinnati wins this game, I think it's gonna be a Bo Nix disaster class.
Yeah,
Complete disaster class.
not a fan of Knicks either, really. And I
No.
think we're seeing the reason why, or the reasons why, people aren't really a fan of him. And it doesn't seem to be getting better either. It seems to just be more the same or worse at times. So that's a real concern.
There's nothing in his game that is above good. It's just max good or okay,
Yeah.
And it doesn't move the needle enough.
Right. And again, we said this before, but both you and I think that this team overperformed last season, and that isn't quite the standard that this team is at yet. And so yeah, just generally my outlook on the season was not too high on them, and they haven't quite played to that level. They've been competitive, like I said, but if you're going to be competitive and going 1-2, that's not the best either.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are week 4 picks. Any other bold takes for this week? Like last week we had 7 blocked kicks or whatever. Something crazy.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna predict there's gonna be 4 pick sixes across the week.
We had how many pick sixes did we had last week? We had a ton as well.
We had a ton as
And
well.
Tua's
but
going to throw
not
2
four.
of them.
And we're still gonna win the game. Fuck yes.
I could definitely see 4 pick sixes. I'm gonna say that Dylan Gabriel gets significant playing time this week. Like maybe the whole second half.
It's time, bro.
If
it's
Dylan
time.
Gabriel gets significant playing time, the Browns will go in there and score a touchdown.
Yeah, I think they'll be
Okay.
better.
All
I
right,
think they'll be
bold
better.
take.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll take the Browns are scoring a touchdown today. or this week.
Yeah, the Browns are going to score a touchdown this week. You know, that might be plus odds, honestly.
They're gonna need another interception to leave them at the 1 yard line.
Yeah. Even then, it'll take 4 downs.
My goodness.
All right. Well, that is our week 3 recap, week 4 preview. Really hope you enjoyed it. We were rambling a lot through this episode, but I have fun rambling with these guys, and I hope you enjoyed listening to it as well. I think we had some really good topics. You know, there was a lot to talk about, really, a lot to take away from week 3. So, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. If you want to stick around for the entire NFL season, consider subscribing, following, liking, commenting, all that stuff, sharing with your friends, family, enemies, neighbors, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, we all really appreciate it. Any last thoughts?
No, goated. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Another great episode of Coast Knows Ball.
Yeah.
Peace, everybody.
See ya.
Peace.